Um, Good night, peace to the community. I wanted to make this video. Just watch this BGS video about Lawrence not being in season 3. I don't really think I'm actually gonna watch this series because I'll probably get triggered or some bullshit. I don't know. I'll probably watch it. I might watch it when like a lot of it, all of it comes out, and then I can just binge it. So it'll be a while. It'll be after people review it and stuff like that. But it's funny that this video came out. I was just in Lake Worth. Story goes, I forgot that the keys for one of my customer sites got stolen at like a year ago, and I went up there and it's like almost an hour drive, and I didn't have the key, so I couldn't get in. So I said, screw it, I'm going to the club. Told my customer, he was like, oh yeah, you can come and get it. I was like, nah, I already got titties in my face. So went to the club up there, and again, mixing in something BGS said, just talking to quite a few women, like 3 women. If that's quite a few, but 2 was like really conversations. The second one was like a decent, interesting conversation. We were talking about Pinterest and stuff like that, and then things she wants to do, home decor and design, and that was an interesting conversation. Then the next one after that, we talked a little bit more. The last one, we talked more about relationships. And this goes into something that BGS was saying about like those women, and it was at the 13:30 mark of the video about the new season, and talking about the fact that a lot of the ELs, they should be happy that they don't have that some of these women are not in their lives. And again, this is almost perfect irony. It's a universal symphony, and I am just another note on the on the sheet of music, because even tonight I was thinking to myself, like a lot of the third woman, she's a single mother, has 2 kids, and I think 2 kids by 2 different dudes, and she was in long-term relationships. I mean, this is the big booty Brenda, like everything's real, and oh my god, like these chicks are getting ass shots to like even look like half of what she has, right? Sexy as fuck and everything like that. But at the same time, as much as she's like nice and everything, you start talking to her, and she's already talking about like, she has, and rightfully so, she has 2 kids. So she's like, hey, listen, a man has to like say something, things like, so for instance, if he's like if it's like a Saturday night, because she only works weekends because she's a CNA during the week, that you would have to, all right, cool, you got me for the weekend, meaning I would have to pay what she would be making or what she's missing out on making so she could pay her bills, because she has 2 kids. And I was just like, it's just the usual trope of, oh, single mothers, they cost you more, their liabilities, things like that, right? Blah, 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 get that out of the way. And again, let's make this about me. Like, it's just things, again, looking at myself and realizing more about myself, which is mainly what I talk about, and what I go on about. I'm looking at this and I'm like, I couldn't support her and her kids. I wouldn't even try to. Like, I'm gonna take whatever money I have and invest it in to another business or 2. Like, I'm about to build a prototype for a container based a scale model container, so I can test out container based micro farms, using shipping containers and everything like that. Something that I got from the Canna Chat from Complex Design, and the Black Brain Trust, and the gentleman over there. We were just chopping it up, and we were just going over some stuff. And I'm like, listen, I'm not even trying to give you really anything. Again, that goes into my selfishness. and also me looking at what I want or what I envision as my future, as success, and it does not include at this moment starting to take care of another woman and another man's kids. Like it just doesn't for me. And it's not to say that I wouldn't if I could see myself having a decent relationship with the woman and we could both feed off of one another in more ways than one. Just so we can, make sure that the two of us are compatible, or simpatico, as a friend of mine would say. And I'm looking at all this and I'm like, it's more than just these that I've been pushing away women, and this being or me considering them liabilities. Um, it goes a little bit deeper into what I envision as in my future, and a lot of these women are just not a part of my future. And deep down inside me, I've been pushing them away because what I see as benefits, assets, and I've I have to say, like, a lot of these women are not assets to me. They're just not. And this is not really MGTOW, red pill, black pill. It's just I probably have to do a little bit more research on what it actually is, to be honest. But listening to BGS and at that 1330 mark, um, I always feel, and I do say feel, but I always feel, and later on I think deeper as to, when I do have a woman around and I have a relationship of some sort, like, the woman or the relationship gets in the way of my business, and I'm quite sensitive to it. Like my tolerance level goes down over time. Like, listen, you want me once a week, twice a week? Like, what's going on? Like, for instance, if it was, say, this girl, I would have to drive X amount of minutes, and she wouldn't be in the same area or town or anything like that. And I'd have to drive X amount of minutes to go to her. And sometimes I'm at customer sites until 2 o'clock in the morning, so on and so forth. Like, how would that even work? And would I even want it to work? And I think this goes into deeper into being not only cognizant, but just being real with yourself. Just put it in those terms, like, just to be real with yourself. You don't want it, and I have to look at the fact that if I was to put this in the terms of a comic book, which I put in I put in the comment section, I used to be Spider-Man. Now I'm Venom. May I never be Carnage. And you see that Spider-Man, Venom, and Carnage are pretty much like the same character. Not because of just what the symbiote does and what it's actually bringing out, or not just that. Actually, no, that's exactly what it is. So, Venom brings out the aggression, or is the aggressive side of Spider-Man. Carnage is the merciless, over-aggressive, non-thinking, and the one that fulfills his own lust for death and carnage, and just that is his amusement. And I don't want to become that, because I believe you get lost. I believe the middle ground between Spider-Man and Venom. Again, I always talk about balance. I like that's something that I appreciate, and I really am looking forward to, and I strive to move towards. I almost don't want to reach it, because the journey is. I think the journey actually is the balance, more than anything. So once you reach that, it's almost like you're going to reach balance, but at the other side of balance, as you go farther and farther away from it, then you become unbalanced once again. So I think the journey actually is just the balance of it all. But again, all these things, it's a whole confluence of ideas and thought processes and feelings and history and what you see as your present self, and then what you see for your future self. And I just look at, the symphony of it all that BGS puts this video out. I had, again, a stripper cycle, and I'm looking at all this, and then I'm also like, even on, and oh my God, some of the things that I've been saying to some of these women, it's just like, I would have never fucking said that, say, a year or two ago. I mean, like, one of them, I know she had fake titties and she had surgery and it looked like it was butchered or botched, or they had to reopen her up, maybe because she had a kid or something like that. But she was like 24, and I'm like, oh my God, her body's mutilated. But then I see another chick, and I was like, hey, you see that girl's ass? Like, you think that's fake? And then she was like, no. And then you could tell because she brought it up later, a couple minutes later, she's like, what, you don't like fake ass? And I was like, nah, I don't like fake ass or fake tits. And then she was like, oh, my tits are fake. And I was like, yeah, but you feel all right. And then she was like, oh, was there something wrong with them? I was like, yeah, on one side, you don't feel like you have a nipple. Now, if you looked at her tits, it's just like, lady, you fucked yourself. I'm sorry. You really fucked yourself. And I was just honest about it. And then I think that would be the Venom, because Spider-Man would have sugarcoated that. He would have made that look lively and bright and vibrant in his red and blue suit that is virtue signaling, hero, Americanism, so on and so forth, right? But Venom sees it and he's like, nah, it's this, it's that, blah, blah, blah. And it was whatever. And then even another chick the night before, I think it was like Wednesday night. I was down in Miami. One of my tenants kind of pissed me off with something that happened. He was supposed to leave some money and he didn't. And I was like, I had texted him before. I said, listen, man, if you're going to leave something for me, leave it where you say, do what you say you were going to do, as agreed upon, and let's go from there, right? He didn't do that. That pissed me off. I got triggered. I was like, fuck it. I got money. Customers, some checks came in this week, so I was like, screw it. I'm going to the club. And I run into a chick that I met over a year ago. And I started talking with her, and it was the same bullshit. Like, she pretty much just tries to use me as a taxi cab, and I was like, oh, fuck all that bullshit. So I already put it, like, an end to it. I had dropped her off, like, last night, and I was just like, all right, cool. And I just turned it into, like, yeah, like, I'm just trying to pay for some pussy, man. Like, I'm not even trying to fucking really chase after your dumb ass. So, and who's really dumb in that situation? You gotta look at that, too. But, talking with her, she was like, oh, well, can you buy me a Red Bull? And I was just like, no. And she was like, why not? And I was like, why would I buy drinks for women that don't really care about me? She was just like, what are you talking about? Well, you and I did this and we met outside the club, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, but nothing came out of it. So what does that tell you? And it was just me being blood raw honest with her. And she felt some type of way about it because she started saying something. And I was just like, yeah, okay. It's like, all right, cool, whatever. And then I just kind of made her realize, like, yo, listen, you're like, I told her, I was like, listen, dudes are really not that dumb. We see it. It's obvious to us. And she was just like, well, yeah, but it's not to say you dumb or anything like that, but if this, and that. And I was like, all right, I just didn't want to play those mental gymnastics with her because it just didn't make any sense. Like, what am I going to tell you? Like, you already know what you're trying to do, and then me as a man, like, I know what you're trying to do. And I'm just looking at all this shit, like what I'm doing, what I'm saying now to women in general, how I'm handling certain situations. And I'm like, there has been a change. I'm seeing the progress. it's kind of like listening to an old album, like your summer album. Your summer. Oh my God, this album embodied my summer, whatever. And I had those feelings of uh, feelings of the past when I was like listening to a Drake album or the new Drake album, and I remember Drake albums from a couple summers ago, and I'm like, holy shit! I remember when this, and then I see my progress. Circle back all the way around, bring it back to how I view women, how I've handled relationships, actually pushing women away almost subconsciously, and that pushing away of women and lack of tolerance to women, and being honest with myself that these relationships and the way I look at these relationships, I view them as not only a liability but annoyances, where they just get in my they get in my way, and then I only want to see women in certain situations that are very small, or in small, or deal with women, or not even deal, let's see, like, if the word choice, that's very important. Deal with women, um deal with women on in lighter dosages. I don't want to deal with them in long-term relationships, because it's just, I don't have the tolerance for it, and I really don't want to see that. I don't really want to be a part of that, and I have to be honest with it. And I think that's very important, because again, looking back at what has been said on BGS's channel and at the 1330 mark, not having these women in our lives has actually allowed us to flourish and get to what we wanted, because that is what was inside of us to not have them around. And it's just like, boom, light bulb, like light bulb on, flickering, or like light bulb on, and and it just almost like a mental explosion. It's just like, that's it. I know this video is getting long, but it's just like, it's just a stream of consciousness. It's like, man, it's like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I got to be somewhere at 10 today, and I do have to do some more stuff before that, and I just couldn't really go to sleep because I wanted to program. And then I just listened to this BGS video a couple minutes ago. I'm like, holy shit. Like, all this coming together, and then just, wow. Wow. Um, I don't know. Looking at it, it might be something that I'm looking at that might be making it bigger than what it is, but at the same time, I think it's very important, and on a journey towards balance, and towards a certain goal and what I see as success. Um, I think it's, yeah, I think this is it's just cool. This is like somewhat of, I guess, a breakthrough moment, or affirming moment, because I've realized for quite a bit of time that um I've been doing a lot of these things, because I've always said to people, like, hey, listen, if you want to lose weight, you'll lose weight. If you want to have a long-term relationship, you'll have a long-term relationship, whether that person beats you or not. I've seen people do it. People have had people around them and been married to people, even today, where they've been with people for like 20, 30 years, and they never leave them. They just don't. And you say, well, you can get better. And they know they can get better, but they want that. They want to have that person even in their life, whether it be not exactly what they want. And a lot of people always bring abuse to the table. Maybe it's just lack of sympathy for a certain situation, apathy in certain areas like socialization, or not socialization, but conversation, and socializing, I guess is the word, and maybe lack of excitement. But this boring husband, or this overly exciting husband, is what they actually want, and they see what else is out there, and it's like, I might as well just stick with the evil that I know. Which is funny, because one of the girls said that tonight. Interesting conversations, though. I was up in Lake Worth, so that was I was up in Lake Worth at a club called Flashdance, so that was kind of cool. That was a good vibe. I was really like I learned more about myself, and then actually no, made observations about myself, I should say, and it all kind of got brought in. I brought it all home once I got home. Anyways, this was a long one. As always, peace to the community, the collective. Thank you.